Welcome to the School Leaders Podcast. My name is Dr. Gastred Harrigan, the podcast for current and emerging school leaders, those who support and supervise them. You will hear from passionate educational leaders who are transforming their schools, communities, and creating positive outcomes for students. I will also share my personal reflections and tips from over 15 years as a school leader. Together, we will talk about how to level up our schools and leadership practices. Hello, welcome to the School Leaders Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Gastred Harrigan. Thank you for making the School Leaders Podcast part of your growth journey. Bad things happen when a person does not focus. Let me illustrate this with a story. One day, a business person visited a small town florist shop to order flowers for a friend who was opening a new business. The flower shop owner was unusually busy and was scrambling to find or to fill orders while she took the businessman's information. Later that day, the man arrived at his friend's grand opening and saw a big floral wreath with his name on it that said, "With deepest sympathy during this time of sorrow." The businessman was irritated. He called the florist to complain and asked, "What in the world happened? Do you have any idea how stupid you made me look?" "I'm sorry," the shop owner said. "I was a little scrambled when you saw me and came by. But your situation wasn't nearly as bad as it was at the funeral home." That card said, "Best wishes in your new location." Anybody can make an honest mistake when things are hectic. But people lacking focus have trouble, not because they are too busy, but because their priorities are out of whack. And that wastes their time and resources. If you go from task to task without making any progress, or you can't seem to reach a goal no matter how much effort you give it, examine your focus. No one can move forward without it. In today's episode, I will share 3 tips to reduce or to eliminate your distraction and focus on what matters most this year. But before we get too deep in today's episode, I want to encourage you to join the School Leaders Podcast community on Facebook. There, we continue and extend our conversation from the episode. Also, don't forget to check out my website at www.drgharrigan.com. There you can listen to the podcast, read the monthly blog, and sign up for our monthly newsletter. I would like to thank all of you who are sharing the podcast on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. Thank you. When you share the podcast, please tag me so I can personally thank you. Take a moment right now to subscribe to the podcast and share this episode. And don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and a positive comment. When you do, it helps other listeners to find the podcast. Let's get started. A lot of leaders feel scattered, overwhelmed, and unproductive. It's often common to think that I just don't have enough time. But for many leaders, the problem isn't a lack of time. The problem often is a lack of focus. In this episode, I will talk about and share how you can refocus on what's matter most this year. One of your most important responsibility as a school leader or as a leader is to focus and direct attention. It is how you get results. But often the most difficult attention to focus on is your own. I know that firsthand. You might not want to admit it, but you might be struggling with ADHD or ADD. Focusing on a specific topic, specific direction, or goal can be extremely difficult. But to get positive result, you must learn to focus on what matters most. Keep in mind that distraction comes in all shapes, in all sizes, in all forms. So let's look at how to overcome the distractions in 3 steps. Number 1, clearly define your wins. At the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month or the year, what will a win look like for you? Would it be increase in profit, a better marriage, less stress, more time off? Maybe you are growing in your influence as a leader. Perhaps it's a healthier company or school culture, increase in your school grade, or increase in student achievement. Greg Rochelle stated that you cannot do what you don't define. You cannot do what you don't define. You must clearly define what you are aiming for. You must define what a win will look like for you. It's also important to write down your goals. So take time right now to write down your goals for this year. Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at Dominican University, found that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to reach them. She also discovered that if you write down your goals and you tell a friend, a mentor, an advisor, an accountability partner, what you're attempting to achieve, what you're attempting to go for, the likelihood of you reaching that goals increases to 78%. Think about that. As you reflect on your goals for 2023, did you accomplish what you wanted to do this past year? If not, it could be because you did not clearly define your goals. Maybe you just drifted, you floated, existed, survived this past year. But I challenge you to clearly define your goals, clearly define your aim for this year. Jordan Peterson, in the book 12 Rules for Life, said that what you aim at determines what you see. What you aim at determines what you see. Therefore, it's important that you clearly define your aim, clearly define your goals to focus on what you see. Number 2, minimize distraction. The ability to focus or the ability to block out distraction, especially in today's world, is absolutely critical to producing the best work of your life. It is essential to reaching your goals and maximizing your life purpose. Greg Rochelle also proclaimed that the best way to increase your focus is to decrease your distraction. The best way to increase your focus is to decrease your distraction. You must work at reducing the distractions in your life. All of us have distractions in our lives. For each of us, the distraction may take different shape, different form, but all of us have distractions that we are facing. There are two major types of distraction. One is cognitive distraction and opportunity. Cognitive distraction, these distractions distract your mind. Opportunity distraction, these distractions distract your mission, your purpose, your goal. One of the biggest cognitive distraction most leaders are facing right now is sitting in the palm of your hand right now. You might even be listening to this podcast on it. It is your cell phone. According to Business Insider, the average person touches their phone over 2,600 times a day. That's 2,600 times a day. And the worst offenders can touch their phone or be on their phone more than 5,400 times in just 24 hours. Wow, that's a lot of hours. That's a lot of times. We are spending too much time on our phones. The average person is on social media almost 2.5 hours a day. To maximize your day, you must minimize your distraction by creating positive habits. As a leader, you will never make a big difference when you are distracted by small things. You will never make a big difference when you are distracted by small things. So you must eliminate or reduce cognitive distraction. How do you go about doing that? Create a distraction-free work environment. You must be intentional if you are going to reduce cognitive distractions. Create a distraction-free work zone. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional in reducing or eliminating cognitive disruptions. Identify the things that cause you stress or distract you. Then set up a system or ways to reduce them. If you're in an office that is loud and it reduces your productivity, maybe find a quiet environment for you to do your work. Create blocks of time during the day when you will do or perform important tasks or projects. I have found creating blocks of times throughout my day helps me to focus on getting things done. Now, let's look at opportunity distractions. These are the opportunities that look good, but might keep you from your best work or your best self. The more successful you become as a leader, the more opportunities that will come your way. You don't have to say yes to everything. You just need to say yes to the right things. Steve Jobs once stated that people think focusing means saying yes to the things you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to hundreds of other good ideas that are there. Just because you could does not mean you should. With all your heart, fight the temptation and say no to more unaligned opportunities in order for you to say yes to the right ones. When you say yes to an average use of your time, you are saying no to a great use of your time. So it's very important that you say more no's to opportunities that do not align to your purpose, that do not align to your goals, so that you can focus on saying yes to the right opportunities. Tony Robbins stated that one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. Today, this year, focus on mastering a specific skill, a specific area in your business. Today, this year, let's minimize our distractions so we can focus on what matters most. Master the few things that will elevate us to the next level. It's important that you master a few things that will elevate you to the next level. Number 3, obsess about the process, not the results. You don't get results by focusing on the results. You get results by focusing on the actions that get results. Most leaders obsess about the outcomes, but they undervalue the process. Good outcomes follow good process. Listen to me. You cannot control every outcome. No one saw the pandemic coming. Some businesses were thrust into overdrive as a result of it, while others were driven into bankruptcy. You cannot control your competition. You cannot even control the economy. But what you can control is your attitude, your focus, your effort, and your action. The right process will eventually lead to the desired outcome. Success isn't achieving the goal in the future. Success is pursuing the process today. This year, there will be new opportunities to make a difference. You are a leader. You will have potential, and you have the potential to influence people, to add value, to create meaningful content, to offer hope. You have the ability to change lives by creating jobs or helping people discover their gifts, their dreams, their talent, their goals. You can create a conducive learning environment for kids to learn and grow. You can inspire people. You can help them discover their gifts and talent. You can make an impact in people's life. So it's important that you get focused. You clearly define your wins. You minimize distractions and obsess over the process. Your life, ladies and gentlemen, is too valuable. Your calling and your purpose is too great to waste your life on things that don't matter. Now, think on this. Life is like a camera. Focus on what's important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negative. And if things don't work out, just take another shot. There you have it. I hope you are able to take away at least one nugget that can help you to be more focused this year. And if you know anyone who can benefit from this episode, please share it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me today. Please consider subscribing to the podcast, leave a 5-star rating and a comment, share this episode with a friend, and on social media. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for leadership ideas and tips. Again, thank you for joining me today. Until next time.